From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
As we go into the evening, $1,400 third stimulus checks, especially those on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, and Direct Express cards, will start to receive a third wave of deposits, some of you, on March 31st. This channel is exclusively reporting. And by mail receipt, April 2nd to April 5th. Meantime, what's going on with those March 26 mail checks that viewers have yet to receive? I have all those details as well. Elsewhere, 14 stimulus checks from the U.S. government will likely get a major update tomorrow, as the Treasury is likely to confirm the third wave did go out on Friday. Elsewhere, clarification about those 26 checks of March still is pending. Where they are, and are they late or are they still coming? The weekend started with incredible great news as your head of SSA, Saul, confirmed the stimulus checks went out. The question is, what day are you going to get it? And when are you going to get them? And where are you going to get them? New video in this video from Chuck Schumer about forced stimulus. New video from the White House about the border. New video from the CDC about the resurgence of the virus. And new video from the White House about forced stimulus and taxes. It's a big night as we get to the finish line for millions of Americans and wonder how soon forced stimulus is happening with reoccurring stimulus checks. It's a big evening or late afternoon, depending on where you are, as Afternoons LA heads into the sunset and gets underway right now. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining me on Afternoons LALATE. Boy, we go into a Sunday night with exciting, great news across the board. As $1,400 third stimulus checks will land in bank accounts on March 31st, this channel is exclusively reporting. And by mail delivery, April 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, in addition to that mystery March 26 checks that haven't been delivered. How are you? It's a great afternoon. You having a good day? Are you crushing the weekend? Did you go to the casino last night? $12 ice cream. It was on sale at $11.99. Sirloin says hello. Javita Late says hello. And Blaine66 says hello. And I say hello. How are you? Say hello to the other people in the room. Introduce yourself. Interact and be familiar and friendly, because ultimately that's the spirit of this channel, people helping one another. And I will be in the live chat with you on Evenings LA coming up after this, which is at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You don't want to miss that show. It's a big one. Evenings LA tonight. Do not miss that show. You're going to have your jaw drop, and you're going to have Sirloin pick it up off the floor. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member right now. But at least subscribe, because you don't want to miss tomorrow. And I'm getting to tomorrow right now, today. Tomorrow is Monday, and on Monday, a series of things are going to be revealed to you. First, Treasury will likely confirm that the third wave of stimulus checks went out on Friday. Second, the president will introduce the fourth stimulus package in more form, not substance, but at least in form, to detail to you as well. And finally, SSA and Treasury will likely update you about this debacle that ensued last week and indicate to you where, when, and how. And finally, probably the biggest issue is the mail. We will see tomorrow if millions of Americans and hundreds of thousands of viewers of this channel who have a March 26 mail date for their stimulus check showing late on Monday. And if it doesn't come on Monday, then what? I'm covering all that in this video. Yeah, this is a big video. Stay to the end. All right, let's start at the very beginning. At the end of last week, between Thursday and Friday morning, your head of SSA confirmed that stimulus checks had gone out. That was great news. Your head of SSA, who is here, Mr. Saul, confirmed in past tense that stimulus checks went out. This was his message. Once we were free to move forward, we aggressively worked with Treasury and IRS to issue payments. This is great news. This is not one, but three verbs in one sentence, all in past tense. So stimulus checks went out on Friday in a third wave. And when are they landing? Well, some of you will receive it by direct deposit this coming Wednesday of March 31st. Some of you will not. Some of you will receive it in the mail. And when will you receive it? Later this coming week. The effective date of the third wave of stimulus checks is March 31st, which means the following. If you bank at a big bank, like a Bank America or a Chase, they will release the funds to you on the 31st. They won't release them ahead of time. Second, if you bank at a smaller bank like a credit union or a app, they may release the funds ahead of time. Cash App, Chime, Bancorp, H&R Block, Green Emerald Card, and TurboTax have been among the banks that release funds before effective dates of stimulus checks. Would they release the funds the day after the effective date? They could. They could release it the day after the 31st. Now, who is getting direct deposit on the 31st? Well, obviously, there's been one wave of stimulus checks on the 17th, a second wave on the 24th, and now a third wave to fix the unpaid checks from the first and second wave. Who has not been paid stimulus checks? Every walk of life of this country has not been paid. The following people have not been paid stimulus checks. People who pay taxes and have tax returns on file for decades have not gotten stimulus checks. People who use the non-filer filing tool have not gotten their stimulus checks. People on benefits who file tax returns have not gotten stimulus checks. People on benefits who use the non-filer filing tool have not gotten stimulus checks. Every walk of life has not gotten a stimulus check. And then on the other side, that same walk of life has gotten stimulus checks. These were the banks that paid stimulus checks the first week, and they were paying checks to SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and Railroad benefits on the first drop of March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. They were Citizens Bank, PNG, Bancorp, Chime, PayPal, NetSpend, Green Dot, People United Bank, US Bank. Also PNC, Capital One Bank, Lake Michigan and USAA, Union Bank, MetaBank, Amex Bluebird, Navy Federal, BBT Woodforest, also Bank America, Chase, Wells Fargo, H&R Block, Green Emerald Card, and TurboTax. Not in that March 17th St. Patrick's Day list, not in there, was Direct Express card. It did not pay on the first wave. It did pay on the second wave. Direct Express paid on the second wave of the 24th. Also Chase again, Green Dot again, Citizens again, Bank America again, H&R Block, Regions Bank, TD Ameritrade, PNC again, Wells, Arvest, and US Bank again. Have any banks paid the third wave yet? They have. This channel can exclusively report that NetSpend and MetaBank has paid third wave stimulus checks to some viewers for third wave. Have some viewers gotten an alert for third wave? They have. They have gotten alerts from the big bank, from the credit unions, and from Direct Express that they're receiving a stimulus check on the 31st of March. Now, if you're with me so far and you wonder what about your lack of alerts, stay with me. Don't go anywhere, because stay to the end, because I got a lot of details to show you about that stimulus check throughout this recording. But what I want you to know right off the bat is the following. 90% at least of the time, you will not get an alert from your bank if the deposit is pending, and you will not get an alert that if it's coming in the mailbox. Meantime, 50% of you who would think that it's going to be in direct deposit or direct express card will be getting it in the mail. Over the weekend, we learned again, and we saw it last weekend, that upwards of 50% of the viewers of this channel who are on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits are getting in the mail. 50% of the people on Direct Express card are getting in the mail. 50% of people who file tax returns and are not on benefits are getting in the mail. What is that mail to date? How do you track the mail? What's going on? How do you know if you're mail or direct deposit? I have all that coming up in this recording. But understand the most updated information is you, me, and Treasury. Treasury's last statement was last Monday, and that's likely to get updated tomorrow. Treasury's last statement was the following. A second wave was sent out, and its effective date is March 24th, they said. Second, they said banks will generally release the funds on the 24th. Third, they said some banks may release the funds the day before, or several days before. It depends on the bank. Number four, they said, a large number of you expecting direct deposit will never get at you by direct deposit, the third stimulus check. Rather, it's coming in the mail. And in the mail includes both debit card and the paper check. Let's talk about that just for a second. That debit card and that paper check come in white or beige envelopes. They are very indescript. There is no logo on the outside. There is no seal on the outside. It doesn't jump off the page as being a stimulus check. Simply said, if you look at it, it looks like junk mail. It is easy to throw away if you're not paying careful. Under the first stimulus, I had viewers throw it away, and under second stimulus, I had a lot throw it away. Do not throw away the mail, and understand your stimulus check may be in the mail. All right, more about that in a second. But boy, one of the big things that's going to happen next week is the heating up of fourth stimulus. And Chuck Schumer has a new video out this weekend that talks about how he's ready in arms to get that fourth stimulus and other bills out the door. Let's listen in a little bit to what Mr. Schumer has to say.
Committee held the first ever hearing on the Equality Act, landmark legislation passed by the House that would enshrine as a matter of principle and of law that no American shall be denied justice based on their gender or their sexual orientation. At the same time, the Senate Judiciary and Rules Committees have started their work responding to the concerted nationwide attack on voting rights of millions of Americans that we haven't seen since the era of Jim Crow. This week, the For the People Act, a bill critical to reforming our democracy, received its first ever Senate hearing in the Rules Committee, ably chaired by Amy Klobuchar. The Senate Judiciary Committee will also soon begin its consideration of the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. In the coming weeks and months, each of these bills will receive full consideration in committee and eventually on the Senate floor. On jobs and climate change, in the coming weeks and months, the Senate will also consider legislation to rebuild our infrastructure and fight climate change, boost R&D and domestic manufacturing, reform our broken immigration system, and grow the power of American workers.
That reference to infrastructure is the fourth stimulus package. Also over the weekend, the president appointed the vice president in charge of the border issue. Let's listen to that video in which the president appoints the vice president as head of the border.
Here at home, but also to deal with it now in terms of in country. And I can think of nobody who's better qualified to do this than this is a woman who ran the second largest Attorney General's office in America after the United States Attorney General in the state of California, and has done a great deal upholding human rights, but also fighting organized crime in the process. So it's not her full responsibility and job, but she's leading the effort, because I think the best thing to do is to put someone who, when he or she speaks, they don't have to wonder about, is that where the president is?
But meantime, $1,400 third stimulus checks will get several updates tomorrow. And what are those updates? The first update you'll likely get is from Treasury about what happened over the weekend. The second update you'll likely hear is from Social Security as to where it happened between in the Treasury. The third update you'll likely get is whether that March 26th check lands in the mailbox on Monday or is not there. I'll have more about how to know what day next week your stimulus check's landing, whether you're direct deposit, direct express, or mail check, coming up in just a second. But stay with me. I'll be back in just 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues tonight at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time with Evenings LALATE. That's going to be a huge broadcast. You don't want to miss that one. That's 8 o'clock tonight on the East Coast, followed by Hazard Pay, 90 minutes thereafter. I'll be in the live chat for both of them. But how are you? Having a great afternoon? Having a great evening? Say hello to someone else in the chat. Interact, be friendly, and be familiar. And ultimately, as a family, together, we help one another get to the finish line. And I'll have more about how we work as a family in just a second. But first, make sure you subscribe. You don't want to miss a single video recording across the board today, including you don't want to miss Evenings LA tonight. It's a big recording. Also, like this video. If you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Let's see if we can do 2,000 to 3,000 likes in this video. Being part of a family involves communication to one another. And those communications started on Friday, Saturday during the day, Saturday last night, and Sunday this morning with private messages sent to me by viewers of this channel. They sent me private messages with screenshots of their bank accounts showing that there's a pending deposit for a $1,400 stimulus check for March 31st. I've seen screen grabs of banks, credit unions, and Direct Express all confirming March 31st are direct deposits of $1,400 stimulus checks for viewers. That's number one. Number two, I've had viewers also show me or indicate in the live chat that they got payments Saturday of their stimulus check. Guess what that is? That is third wave. It's not second wave. That is this new wave that's coming next week. These are banks that prepay, that allow the funds to go out ahead of time, not the big banks, the smaller banks. Finally, I've had viewers share with me new updates where they went into the irs.gov tool since Saturday morning and it changed. It changed to now say April 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th, you're getting it by mail. So let's go over this mail situation right now. But first I get to that, let me say this as well. If you're a viewer that has gone to the IRS tool and something has changed and it now gives you a date of a delivery, share that message in the live chat. DM me on social media because this is how we know things. Ultimately, there's no guess that there's a third wave of stimulus checks landing on March 31st because you, the viewer, have already shared me the private messages of the direct deposits happening on the 31st. Second, there's no surprise that there's a third wave of mail checks from the 3rd of April to the 5th because you've already shared me the screen grabs. It's no different than what happened a week ago. A week ago, people said that there were no pending deposits for Direct Express on March 24th, and viewers shared me direct deposits pending for March 24th. Some viewers got those direct deposits of March 24th. Others did not. What they instead got was an IRS tool that said, March 26th, you're getting a stimulus check by the mail. And then March 26th came and there was no check in the mail. The 27th was yesterday, Saturday, and there was no check in the mail. So what's going on with that situation? And let me address it right now. This channel does about 500,000 to 1 million views a day. It's the most watched stimulus channel, and boy, I can tell you, of the viewership, the vast majority have that as a situation. They are either on benefits and have a March 26th date, or they're on the Direct Express card with benefits and have a March 26th date, or they're not on benefits and they have a March 26th date. A lot of viewers have this mail March 26th date. What has happened with that March 26th date? This many viewers have gotten the check on March 23rd. 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 viewers got the check on March 27th yesterday. But the vast majority of them, 99%, have not gotten this check as we go into Monday, which is March 29th. What we have to watch for is 3 possibilities. 1, the stimulus check shows up late. That's the best scenario. Number 2, the IRS tool changes from March 26th for viewers of this channel to an April date. And number 3, that Treasury gives us guidance why so many March 26 checks have not landed. Now, what's important for you to know is that as you're watching, if you have no date, you have no tool information, you have no update for anywhere, anyhow, 50% of you are getting it in the mail. Why do we know this? We know this for 2 reasons. 1, Treasury last Monday said that of the people who are expecting direct deposit, that's their words, a large percentage of you will never get it by direct deposit, the third stimulus check. It's coming in the mail. So understand, because 90% of you never get an alert that it's going to land in the mail or the deposit account, will just see it show up. If 50% of the viewers who do have an alert show it going into the mailbox, then 50% of you not having an alert may also see it going in the mailbox. Watch the mail. That's the best thing you can say, is watch the mail. Yes, if you're on benefits, it may be in the mail. Yes, if you're on Direct Express, it may be in the mail. And yes, if you're not on any of those things and pay tax returns, file tax returns, or use or file non-file or filing tools, it may be landing in the mail. So then what day in the mail? This is where it gets strange. We have these new people since early Saturday, yesterday, to late Saturday, that have now gone from no tool results to tool results of April 3rd to April 5th. What does that mean? It means that the date on the check is that date. It does not mean that's the date the check is going out. It does not mean that's the date the check that's coming. It means that's the date in the corner of the check. So when would you get an April 5th check, for example? You'd usually get the check 2 days ahead of time. 2 days ahead of time, so you get the check and have it ready to deposit when its effective date rolls over. In this case, for the March 26 people, they have not gotten that check beforehand, generally. They've not gotten the check on the 27th. We gotta hope that the big push of them is this coming week. Meantime, what is going on with that letter from Representative Neal? And what you need to know about that, I'll cut over to that in a second. But there was a lot of other things that happened over the weekend, which I want to make sure you know about. First, there is a major series of developments from SBA.gov. SBA has now done 2 major developments over the weekend. 1, it changed and updated its website to announce that you can get an EIDL loan increase. Yes, for the first time since 2021, my EIDL loan owners can now get an increase of their loan. Go to SBA.gov and it has it actually posted on the website. Number 2, if you have a shuttered venue, which includes talent representation, yes, it includes that as well, the talent representation grant, again, that's a grant, is now open for you to ask for an application to be sent to you. That has just gone live, where you go in there and ask for the application to be sent to you. That's at sba.gov. This is breaking developing news over the weekend. Elsewhere, there's new developing concerns about the growing strain of the virus. The strain is the B117, the London version. And let's listen to this new video from Dr. Walensky talking about the concerns about B117.
Over 8,000 cases. We're watching it very closely. It is, our percent of those of the variants is a little bit lagging behind our data because it takes a while to do the sequences and to sequence the variants and do that population-based analysis. But yes, we're worried about the increase.
Yeah,
Walensky said the same sort of comment. Walensky said the same sort of comment a few days earlier, in which he said the sequencing of B117 sometimes is delayed, which means, if that's the case, then the numbers for the variant may actually be higher than we currently know. What also could be higher next week, well, not next week, but in the weeks to come, is your taxes. A new video from the president's press secretary over the weekend reveals that she would not answer which taxes are going to be increased. Let me tell you what is happening versus what she says in the video. She's asked about the fourth stimulus package and whether taxes will be increased. Let's listen in to that video right now.
Certainly know this is a challenge. It's something he is briefed on regularly and is pushing his team to take more rapid action. Go ahead, Peter.
Thank you, Jen. The President has said he wants bipartisan support, I think, for infrastructure package as well. Is that possible when Republicans are pretty adamant they don't want tax increases? In other words, how can you achieve bipartisan support for infrastructure if Republicans are drawing the line, a hard line on taxes?
Well, first I would say, Peter, that I don't think most Republicans think that the United States, one of the wealthiest countries in the world, should be 13th in the world as it relates to infrastructure. Roads that are broken down, infrastructure that isn't working, a lack of access to broadband, that's not a Democratic issue. And the president is going to continue to.
And she's right. Infrastructure has historically been bipartisan among both parties wanting to push forward for it. But here's where the conversation changes.
To make that case. Now, we don't know what the votes will be. We haven't proposed a package yet.
And that's where it's not particularly accurate. The White House has been informed by moderate Democrats that it will not support the proposal for the following reasons. One, the president's trying to do the proposal without any Republicans in hand. Number two, they will not support the proposal if the proposal does not pay for itself. And number three, they won't support the proposal if it doesn't pay for itself and is paid for by raising taxes.
And certainly what it will be tied to and the pay-fors will be a part of that discussion. But
that's also untrue. A series of reports out of the East Coast in major news publications say the president knows exactly how the bill is going to be paid for. It will be paid for, according to the publications, with capital gains tax, inheritance tax, corporate tax raise, and also a wealth tax.
But he certainly believes there's been a history of support for investing in infrastructure. He has had bipartisan meetings in the White House. He's worked.
And that's also not accurate. The president has not had bipartisan meetings with Republicans about raising taxes. In fact, the president's only bipartisan legislation at hand, or attempt at bipartisan legislation, was third stimulus, and it was passed without bipartisan relief.
With Democrats and Republicans on getting legislation, getting steps taken in the past, and he's hopeful that there's an agreement on that moving forward.
Part of the issue is with forced stimulus also is the reoccurring stimulus checks. You saw over this weekend the standalone bill introduced by one representative for a standalone check for reoccurring stimulus checks. What Democrats have told the president is that when he does the infrastructure bill, whether they are House or Senate Democrats, whether they're moderate or progressives, that they will not support the bill unless there's reoccurring stimulus checks. The amount, they don't say. The reoccurrence, presumably monthly. The amount, presumably $2,000 a month to the end of this year. $12,000, $16,000. This is money for you. Will the president agree to it? We still have to see. But as you see, as forced stimulus will be introduced this week, there's a lot more that the president needs to do to get this bill to the finish line, of which it's not close to be there. Let me cut back to that $1,400 third stimulus check. This is what you need to know. As we go into a Monday morning, there is a lot of positivity, a lot of encouraging great news, and a lot of great indication. And where's it coming from? It's coming from you. As a family of viewers that help one another, continue to help one another and be thankful for those that step forward and do that. If you have gotten an alert from the IRS tool, if you've gotten an alert from your bank, if you show a new deposit pending, send me a DM on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Share it in the live chat. If you see or hear something from a friend or neighbor, share it in the live chat or DM me. Ultimately, the best indicator of whether your bank is paying a stimulus check to viewers on that particular day is when you hear other people that bank at that bank hearing that deposit land. But here's where we are going into the new week. Viewers have pending deposits for March 31st of a stimulus check. And those viewers are people on Direct Express card, on big banks, small banks as well. People who pay tax returns and people who don't pay tax returns who are on benefits. Meantime, viewers with that March 26 mail check from the second wave have still not gotten it. And it's a lot of viewers. It's the largest section of viewers this channel is this March 26 mail check group that have not gotten that mail check group. It includes people on SSI and SSDI. It includes people who use the Direct Express card that instead of the Direct Express card is going to mail. It includes people not in that group, just people who file tax returns. They're waiting for that stimulus check. And they didn't get it on March 26th. So this is going to be one of the biggest groups we're going to watch to see where the movement changes happens. Finally, if you go to the IRS tool and you see a change, whatever it is, if it changes from March 26th to April 3rd, send me a DM because this is ultimately where we learn what things are happening. And trust me, they change these updates to these tools at any time. Finally, remember, 90% of all stimulus lands without any alert. It may land in your bank account, it may land in your mailbox at any time without any prior alert. So with that, I don't want you to miss a single minute across the board. Thank you for joining me on a big Afternoons LALATE. I really appreciate your kindness and I appreciate your helping one another. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. Stay informed, stay focused. Have a great afternoon, and I'll see you on Evenings LA. And stay with LA for more.